Good afternoon, everyone. This is Dr. Neha Gupta from Giggles Clinic and My Own Space. And today we will be talking about the Safe and Sound Protocol. So, Safe and Sound Protocol was developed by Dr. Stephen Porges, and it is basically a 5-hour auditory intervention which reduces your stress levels, the anxiety levels, and auditory sensitivities, and enhances the social engagement and resilience. So how does SSP actually works and how is it implemented? We are going to talk about that in this video. Before I proceed to that, let's just talk about a little background. So we all know that autonomic nervous system consists of sympathetic nervous system and parasympathetic nervous system. So sympathetic nervous system is something that sends us in the 3F zone, that is the flight, fright, or fight zone. And the parasympathetic nervous system is which sends us to the freeze zone. So for our kids in spectrum, what usually happens is when they are presented with a situation, they either act too excited, maybe in the rage, in anger, too anxious, or they totally freeze out. They're dissociated, they're helpless, they are isolated sorts. So either of the part of the autonomic nervous system, that is the sympathetic or the parasympathetic, takes total control and gives them one reaction. It is either one of the 3F or it is the freeze. So we do not see an equilibrium between the two. In SSP, what happens, according to the theory developed by Dr. Stephen Porges, so this system is based on polyvagal theory, and polyvagal theory states that autonomic nervous system consists of 3 systems: the sympathetic nervous system, parasympathetic nervous system, and the social engagement system. This social engagement system is what forms the equilibrium between the two and helps the children regulate themselves emotionally and socially, and bringing out the appropriate behaviors and also the increase in attention level. So how does it actually work? Now, in this system, Dr. Porges has used auditory nerve as a portal to access the vagus nerve. Now, a vagus nerve has 2 horns, the ventral and the dorsal. The ventral part controls the social engagement system and the dorsal one activates the parasympathetic one. So what we see is when the music is given to the ears, the middle ear muscles get activated. Now, when we see that the kids on spectrum, they are not usually able to focus on what the other person is saying, they're not able to comprehend, or they might miss out the things, the processing is not up to the mark. And that is because the middle ear muscle, especially the stapedius, it is inactive in the kids on spectrum. So this particular intervention when given, it activates that muscle, the stapedius muscle, and then it sends the human voice frequencies as it should be perceived. So activating that gives us access to the further nerves. When that muscle is activated, then we can access the vagus nerve and also the facial nerve. So when SSP music is given, there is auditory stimulation and this stimulates the auditory nerve. Along with the auditory nerve, it also stimulates the ventral branch of vagus nerve and the facial nerve. Now this stimulation of the facial nerve, how does it help? When this facial nerve is stimulated, the kids, they can better relate to the human voice that is coming from the other person and also the facial expression. So they can connect better to the other humans and the environment. And when the ventral branch of the vagus nerve is stimulated, that brings the equilibrium in the 3 systems, leading to the social engagement and the appropriate responses that we expect from the child emotionally and socially. So it brings the equilibrium between the sympathetic, parasympathetic, and social, leading to the equilibrium zone wherein the child is more oriented, more grounded, and behaves in the socially appropriate manners and is better emotionally regulated. At the same time, since he is better regulated, we see the increase in attentions, and the perception of human voices also becomes better. And since the whole system comes in equilibrium and is normalized, the auditory sensitivities also come down. So this is how the SSP works in brief. Now, how do you implement SSP? SSP can be implemented in clinic and as an at-home program through online mode. But it should certainly be done in the presence or under the monitoring of a certified SSP provider. At the home program, not everyone qualifies for it, so we need to go for a pre-qualification or pre-eligibility for all the people who are undergoing the program, as both safe part and the sound part of the protocol have to be ensured. Now, who can take SSP? So, kids as small as 2 years and any population, the geriatric population can undergo SSP, but of course, after ensuring the eligibility. And what is required for SSP for the home program? You just need a quiet environment or environment without distractions and a set of over-the-ear headphones. To stimulate the vagus nerve, there are other ways as well, but SSP perhaps is the simplest and the most comprehensive way to do it, because it not only stimulates the vagus nerve, but it also stimulates the facial nerve, thereby bringing the benefits of both together. And this is simplest to execute for all the age ranges. But make sure that you go for SSP only under a certified practitioner. And we are happy that our clinic has been registered as a certified provider for SSP program under ILS. And if you need our services for that, kindly contact us. So this was a brief of how Safe and Sound protocol works and how it is implemented. Thank you so much and hope it was helpful.